I, for one, do not give a shit about this pay-per-view. Do you? This is one of those pay-per-views that I wish the WWE would just not have. It's fucking pointless. You got Survivor Series right around the corner, and we still have to have a Hell in the Cell pay-per-view before that. This shit is fucking stupid. And you know what? Raw sucked too. I finally was able to watch Raw home live for the first time in about 4 weeks, and I spent 90% of the time just ragging on the show the whole time. And if I wasn't making fun of it, I was pretty much eyeballing the Saints-Dolphins game on Monday Night Football. But we're going to get into Raw here and all the big storyline plans that they have going on leading up into this pay-per-view, and we're also going to talk about some Wrestlemania plans. I've been thinking a lot about how the WWE needs to start shaping things and start making as many plans as they can for WrestleMania 30, and I think I've got a couple really good ideas, so stay tuned for that in a few minutes. Also, first, I want to just thank everybody for the great participation in my last video that I put up announcing the big 100-question commentary that'll be uploaded over the holidays. I think that between all of the comments that I've gotten, all of the many personal messages that I've received on YouTube and Facebook, I already have enough that I can easily pick 100 questions. But keep sending them in, because if I see a better one, somebody else might get bumped, so you never know. But I've already found myself plenty of material to work with here. You guys are extremely creative. That's fucking awesome, because I've already done a few of these. I've done, probably a total of 11 or 12 hours of Q&A. So the fact that you guys are still coming up with new and interesting and creative questions that I haven't touched on before, I think is really awesome. We're still going to touch on stuff that I've talked about before. It's impossible to avoid that. I have a lot of new subscribers and listeners, and there's some of that stuff that they might want to hear, so we'll get into some of it, but for the most part, the commentary is going to be really fun, and I can't wait. I've already started on it, and I really don't anticipate any problems, any delays. I should have this thing up before Christmas, and it should be a fun couple of months putting it together. Now, as far as what we've got going on right now, I only have, I think, 4 matches for this show written down. There might be a 5th involving AJ Lee and whoever the fuck she's wrestling, and I'm sure 1 or 2 more will pop up after SmackDown and as we move into later this week, getting closer to the pay-per-view. But we'll talk about the big angles here, starting with Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan. They might have fucking ruined it, guys. You saw Brie Bella. She's out there now. They're making a big deal of the engagement. Obviously they're trying to tie in the success of the Total Divas show, but I just really... it's just the old school fan in me does not like this, because Daniel Bryan, you guys, you've seen it. Am I wrong? He is over as a motherfucker. The crowd goes nuts in every city for him, and he's as over as a guy has been in recent memory. Nobody's ever going to get an Austin and Rock pop again, ever, ever, ever. But Daniel Bryan comes pretty damn close, and he's got that yes chant, and it just creates such an atmosphere. It feels like, the fans are participating. They feel more part of the show, and, they're just little underdog Daniel Bryan. Everybody's behind him. And the Daniel Bryan push is working. It pisses me off to no end how some fans still complain. Some Daniel Bryan loving marks are still getting pissed off. The story about the assholes that called last month to get their money back, fuck you, you little fucking fucks. You have got to be the stupidest sons of bitches alive to actually do that. That infuriates me to no end. What the hell are you bitching about? Your hero, the only guy in the WWE that you feel deserves an opportunity, is getting an opportunity, and he's getting a great opportunity. He's won the WWE title twice in a month. And to get so wrapped up in wins and losses and pinfalls and all of that stupid shit, instead of actually looking at the big picture and seeing what a great program and storyline this is for Daniel Bryan, he's getting the push of his life, doing the best work of his life, and he's as over as he's ever been in his career. What the fuck are you complaining about, you shithead? You fucking assholes have the nerve to say you want to boycott the WWE the same way that women boycott you? You need to get a fucking life, and you should be happy for Daniel Bryan, because that's what you want. You want Daniel Bryan to succeed, right? Guess what? He is, asshole. As far as what's going to happen at BattleGround, I say Randy Orton takes it. Here's why. This is a pointless pay-per-view. I don't want Daniel Bryan's big moment to come at BattleGround. Plus, it's still a new storyline. This is going to stretch out further. And if you look at what the WWE has done, Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton are really just having a tug-of-war with this title. Daniel Bryan won it at SummerSlam, then Randy Orton took it from him. Then Daniel Bryan won it the last pay-per-view, and then Triple H took it away from him. Now Randy Orton's probably going to win it at this pay-per-view. I bet you anything that Randy Orton is going to come out of BattleGround as the WWE champion. He's Triple H and Stephanie's #1 guy. He's the face of the WWE. He's what's best for business. Daniel Bryan is not going to put an end to this yet. It's going to stretch out a little further. So Randy Orton will wind up winning this title at BattleGround in some sort of fucked up way, leading to the Hell in the Cell. I suppose that maybe Daniel Bryan could win the title, and then Triple H and Stephanie do something to, fuck it up or take it away from him again, or say, okay, this time you got to get in the Hell in the Cell with Randy Orton for the title. If you're going to be WWE champion, then you're going to have to defend it in the Hell in the Cell against Randy, and there's no way you're going to be able to beat the Viper in an environment like that. Something like that, who knows? But I still think best bet, money is on Randy Orton to come out of Battleground with the title because it makes the most storyline sense. Daniel Bryan needs something to chase. If he's just WWE champion, then you little fuckers are going to tear him down anyway, so you might as well enjoy the ride, enjoy the chase, and let him chase the title for a while. And then however the hell they decide to book Hell in the Cell, you can have Daniel Bryan maybe finally get his moment at Survivor Series or something like that. This isn't something that's going to stretch out forever, but I definitely think that it's going to stretch out farther than Battleground. Now, if you're stupid enough to throw down $40 to buy this pay-per-view, then you do not deserve a refund, but expect to see Randy Orton come out of this pay-per-view as WWE Champion. The other big match, CM Punk versus Ryback. Ryback is now a Paul Heyman guy. Oh, by the way, first of all, before I even get started, hey, Ryback, it's pronounced Bully. Bull-E, not Bully, you fucking moron. So Mr. Speech Impediment's got a match with CM Punk at this pay-per-view. Seems to me these guys are wrestling at these pay-per-views at this time last year. Now CM Punk's a face and Ryback's a heel, and Ryback is now a Paul Heyman guy. We saw the sick little segment on Raw where Paul Heyman proposed to Ryback and got on one knee and asked him to be a Paul Heyman guy. I imagine next week the two of them will have a live sex celebration just like Edge and Lita did. You're welcome for that mental image, by the way, but I totally see this match stretching out again because I'm starting to wonder about CM Punk. I'm starting to look at CM Punk's long-term plans. This seems to me like a feud to keep him busy and also to keep Paul Heyman busy because the only guy Paul Heyman has right now is Curtis Axel, who is not, he's just not that big of a player. Paul Heyman also represents Brock Lesnar, who's not going to be around right now, probably won't be around for a few months, and they need to give Paul Heyman something to do. Ryback needs something, so seems like a natural fit. Put those two together, Ryback can almost take the place of the big bad Brock Lesnar. I wouldn't even mind seeing Brock Lesnar come back and slap Ryback around. That would be awesome. But for the time being, Ryback is playing the role of Brock Lesnar and of Paul Heyman's protector against CM Punk, and CM Punk is just hell fucking bent on getting his hands around the throat of the walrus. So now you just have what I'm guessing is a straight-up match. I don't know if this is, I don't think there's any stipulations in this thing. So it's just Ryback versus CM Punk. Some sort of drama is going to happen with Punk and Heyman. It's going to be a whole big fucking mess. And this probably will lead to a match at Hell in the Cell. Will it be in the Cell? I don't know how they work that pay-per-view. I think it's just one match is in the Cell. But, it is an option since they wrestled in the Cell last year. Maybe it could be a rematch. And they could play off that a little bit. But I think the main event Cell match is going to be reserved for Bryan and Orton. But I expect CM Punk and Ryback to have this feud go on for a little while, and I don't think CM Punk is going to quite get his full revenge on Paul Heyman yet because Battleground, who fucking cares? This big revenge moment needs to come at a little bit more significant of a show or a pay-per-view. And seeing as that next month is the Hell in the Cell, maybe they could work out some stipulation where, Paul Heyman has to be in the cell with the two guys. Or if CM Punk wins against Ryback, he gets Paul Heyman in the Hell in the Cell for a match or something like that. So I guess WWE has some options for the Cell, but like I said, I think that's going to be reserved for the WWE title. Speaking of the WWE title, that's kind of what I'm wondering about CM Punk. I'm wondering what their plans are for him come WrestleMania time, and I've got an idea. And I was thinking about it last night. Now, when CM Punk re-signed with the WWE 3 years ago and came back and cut that great promo, guess what? I think his deal's up soon. So if CM Punk is going to stick around, then I've got a great idea for him. But if there's going to be a contract situation next year, it might change how they book CM Punk. You remember that year that he cut that promo, he lost to Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And I think the only reason he lost is because they knew that he most likely was on his way out the door, and they weren't going to let him defeat, a guy that's probably never going to leave the WWE unless he gets, caught with drugs one more time. So if CM Punk's going to have a contract issue coming up in the summer, that could very well affect how they book him at WrestleMania. But let's just forget about the contract for right now. Forget about it. Let's just assume that CM Punk is sticking around, because I think he probably will. And hopefully, around the end of the year, CM Punk can be a major player at WrestleMania. And I have an idea. Seeing is that it's WrestleMania 30, and this is a milestone pay-per-view, I think that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk have the chance to replace the Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero WrestleMania 20 scenario that unfortunately the WWE can never look back with the fondness that they had hoped to for their 20th anniversary show, WrestleMania 20, where it all began in Madison Square Garden, and the WWE putting over two pure wrestlers that the pure wrestling fans love. And they put those two guys over in their biggest show to that date, and they closed out the show. Biggest WrestleMania of all time. It wasn't Rock, it wasn't Austin, it wasn't Hogan, Warrior, anybody like that. It was two wrestlers. And I think the fans always appreciated that, but unfortunately, because of what Chris Benoit did, the WWE can never reference that. And I think they have a chance with these two guys that are so well respected amongst the smarks and people who think that they really know wrestling, and pretty much with all the fans, that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have the fans' fair amount of respect as good performers. Daniel Bryan is amazing in the ring and good on the mic. CM Punk is good in the ring and amazing on the mic. And I would like to see both of these guys have the type of moment that Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero had at WrestleMania 20. Now, whether you put these guys in a match together, I wouldn't mind for 1 minute, because think about it. WrestleMania 30 is going to be surrounded with a lot of those big names. Rock, possibly. Brock Lesnar for sure. Undertaker for sure. Triple H for sure. Possibly Stone Cold. There could be a lot of, just big-time stars, entertainment performers that are going to be out there. You got to have some really good wrestling to balance it out. And if you put the WWE title at stake against those two, with those two guys in the main event, I think that could be huge. And I think that could be a really good way for WWE to earn back some of the respect of the wrestling fans. I think that all they do is push, Super Cena and crap like that. You could put Cena in the ring with The Undertaker, which I was chatting a little bit with the Lex Man about on Facebook. I think that would be a great idea. Cena isn't going to end that streak. The Undertaker needs to fucking retire. The Undertaker needs to go in the fucking Hall of Fame. I would like to see that happen this year. And when you think about what his options are and who his choices are for his final match, most of the guys that he has a lot of history with are retired. He can't have a match with Shawn. He's already had a couple matches with Triple H. What better guy than the true face of the WWE, the most successful wrestler that has been shoved, as the fans say, down their throats for the last 10 years, the guy that always wins, the guy that overcomes all odds and can beat anybody on any night, and he's always the man to the point where it fucking pisses off a huge portion of the audience. You put John Cena in the ring with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 with the streak on the line. John Cena gets tombstoned and pinned and does the right thing and puts over The Undertaker in his final match at WrestleMania 30. I cannot think of a better scenario for John Cena. And like I always say, it has nothing to do with wins and losses. I promise you, no matter what you think about John Cena, he would insist, you hear me? Insist that he puts over The Undertaker. I don't even think John Cena would let the WWE have him win that match. Cena, plain and simply, would go down in that match. 1, 2, 3. And if The Undertaker was going to leave the business finally and retire, I can't think of a better show, and I can't think of a better opponent. So if you got Cena tied up with The Undertaker with the streak match, he's out of the title picture, so you don't have to worry about him. You could put The Rock and Brock together. There would be no title on the line in that one either. Maybe CM Punk and Brock Lesnar can have their rematch later on this year at the Royal Rumble or something, and The Rock can return and help CM Punk beat Brock Lesnar, setting up their WrestleMania match or something like that. That leaves CM Punk alone to either A, challenge Daniel Bryan or just challenge for the title. What if CM Punk challenges for the World Heavyweight title and Daniel Bryan wins the WWE title at WrestleMania, and then the two of them are in the ring in the main event at the end, whichever one comes out, just like Eddie Guerrero came out when Chris Benoit won the title, and you've got two guys, two world champions embracing confetti. They can basically recreate the whole thing and right a wrong that I'm sure has been bothering them for years. They can never refer back to WrestleMania 20 and how great that moment is because of what Chris Benoit did. Here's their chance to recreate it. Give us that. That's my idea. Tell me what you think. I swear, talking about WrestleMania is a lot more fun than talking about fucking Battleground, but we still got a couple of more matches to talk about. The Rhodes family is back. Triple H and Stephanie invited them to Raw to give them a business proposal. And the proposal is Dustin and Cody have a match against The Shield, Reigns and Rollins, the tag team champions. If they win, they get their jobs back. If The Shield beats them, they can never be hired by the WWE again. And also, Dusty Rhodes loses his job at NXT, where he's the fucking trainer or whatever the fuck. So they're tying in a little bit of real life here, that this is Dusty Rhodes' real job, something that he actually does, and they're saying that he's going to be fired from that. I'm going to predict a Rhodes family victory here. Easy. You know why? Because of just what I talked about earlier on with the world title. Daniel Bryan is going to lose. I fully expect to see Randy Orton with the title at the end of that pay-per-view. So if that's going to happen, you got to bring the Rhodes family back in. You got to have something good on the pay-per-view for the fans to appreciate. So I think somehow, with help from Dusty or help from somebody, maybe Big Show, something like that, that Dusty Rhodes and his boys come out of this match with their hands raised. Goldust has his job back, which is fine. I love Goldust. So good to see him back. And Cody will also have his job back. These guys can do a bunch of things leading into next year, and maybe, just maybe, you get that Cody-Dustin match at WrestleMania, like I think both of them have wanted for quite some time. And plus, you got to look on the other side of that, too. What if the Shield wins? Triple H said that if they win, they can never have their jobs back again. So how do you write them back in the storyline? If they lose and apparently they can never have their jobs back again, and then the next week on Raw they come up with a way to bring them back, shouldn't the fans call and get a refund there too? Because that didn't make any sense? Oh, that's right. That only happens if Daniel Bryan loses a match, God forbid. So yeah, totally. Cody and Dustin are going to lay a beating down on the Shield, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a bionic elbow or two either. And the only other match I have written down for Battleground is the World Heavyweight title, Alberto Del Rio defending again against Rob Van Dam. Now, I've mentioned this scenario before, and I don't know why I keep harping on it, because I don't even watch the storyline that closely, but I just given the WWE's history and I know the way they think, I swear to you, I can feel a heel turn by Ricardo. I've just felt that this pairing with RVD doesn't make any sense. Plus, I have no idea RVD's contract status. Apparently, it's about to be up, and he's got, RVD's older, so he's probably going to work a little, come back. I don't think Rob Van Dam's necessarily leaving, but he might be working a more Chris Jericho type of schedule. Go home for a while, come back, that sort of thing. So whatever he decides to do, in the next month or whenever his contract is up is definitely going to play into how they book this. I don't know if they're going to give Rob Van Dam the title. I don't think that they would, unless he's already got some new deal with them worked out that we don't know about. But otherwise, I just think that Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo belong together. And I think that if Rob Van Dam is going to be maybe leaving for a few weeks until he comes back, this is the perfect match to set that up. You have Ricardo turn on Rob Van Dam in the match. He and Alberto Del Rio just wind up beating the piss out of Rob Van Dam, maybe putting him on the shelf, and then they have a way to write him off TV. Done. Just like that. And if Rob Van Dam's going to be leaving, Ricardo needs something to do anyway, so why not put him back, with his old longtime friend? And I think it would make perfect storyline sense. Guys break up and get back together all the time. A guy fires his manager and then he winds up managing him again a few months or a year later, something like that. So this is not rare. And it seems to be something that's totally logical, and if I was booking things, this is probably the way I would write this match. As far as what else is going on Battleground, I don't really care. You guys can fill me in on that. I will not be watching the pay-per-view. I probably won't even be streaming the pay-per-view. This is going to be the type of show that I'm just going to read the results and look at the pictures. A lot of you guys are great about sending me links on Facebook. If, you have a link to the pay-per-view after it airs, I always welcome those, but I'm definitely not going to be paying too much attention to this pay-per-view because I just think it's fucking pointless. Oh, and incidentally, I did notice that Dolph Ziggler does have a match on the pre-show. And remember how Shawn Michaels was the showstopper? Is Dolph Ziggler becoming the pre-showstopper? I mean, what the fuck? 6 months ago, this guy's winning world titles on Raw. Now he's on the pre-show? This is getting annoying. And I don't know what the hell the WWE has against him. But he has had the support of his fans and his peers for I don't know how long now. And he can obviously do it in the ring. So what the fuck is their problem? It's almost as if WWE can only push one of these guys at a time. They're like, okay, now it's Daniel Bryan's turn. So the next fucking guy that the dumb little fans go ape shit over, we're going to push him next, and Daniel Bryan's going to be working pre-shows. Here's a fucking thought, WWE. How about push guys that are good? That is it for me. I'm out of here. Enjoy the pay-per-view. I will talk to you in 1 week, and we will discuss what went down. Peace.